Hey, so now that we're settled here at our new campground in Hot Springs National Park, we are situated on a really cool creek. I wanted to talk about sort of a part two on the panic disorder topic that we were talking about the other day. This is going to kind of be mixed with intrusive thoughts or OCD, disordered types of thinking. And I was thinking to myself, why does travel trigger panic? And I'm thinking about it. We had left Tennessee, the really great RV park we were in. We stopped at a gas station. And I notice it's often the gas station where things get stirred up. I see people coming in and out of the store, and these intrusive thoughts start about, how do I really live in this strange place with people who are strange to me? And I'm just realizing it. What if I have to live here permanently? What if the rest of my life, or the life that has already happened, was just a dream, and now I've just awakened to the real life I have, which is whatever town this wonky gas station is in. And I get scared because I don't want to live here, and I don't want to live in this place. I want to be where my home is, where my bed is, where the smells are familiar. And then I wonder, will I ever get back home? Will I ever be safe again? Will I ever feel safe again? And why am I frightened of the gentleman who just came out of the store with a gallon of milk and filled up his tank? And then I think, well, maybe, who is he? Is he my neighbor? Is he a family member? Because again, I might have just had dementia all this time, and I really have lived in Tennessee all my life, and now I'm just coming to, so to speak. Really interesting, really intrusive thoughts. And I go in to use the bathroom, and I see a help wanted sign on the door. And I think to myself, my gosh, what if I had to work here? What if I don't have a job, and now that I realize I live here and who I am, I need to figure out how to make money. Seeing as I might be trapped in this godforsaken place for who knows how long. And I use the bathroom really quickly because I have this fear in bathrooms that I'm gonna pass out. And this time I'm gonna pass out, and what if I pass out and I wake up in the apartment I didn't know I had, that's small and humid and has really gross brown carpet? And I can't let that happen, because at least the family that I think I have that's sitting out in the car is close by, so I need to move fast before anything crazy happens, right? So I wash my hands, and when I do so, I really try hard not to look in the mirror, because what if I look and it's not me? It looks like someone completely different. So I don't know why this happens, but I kind of thought about it in the car after I successfully made it back, and tried to focus on the fact that I really am a Rhode Islander with several children and a dog named Zoe. The first thought that I have is the RV park we had just left, right? We only spent 2 days, but then I think 2 days, wow, it feels like we've been there for a long time. It felt safe, it felt like home. And I thought, that's interesting. Maybe the anxiety came back because it felt like I left my safe zone again, just like it had happened when I left home a week ago. And it's almost like the future is uncertain, and that's what kind of triggers these thoughts. The second thought I have is about my childhood. And yeah, it's very kind of psychotherapy-ish, but I did often feel displaced as a child, and I always had a high amount of worry and fear. In fact, I lived in fear most of the time, and the one safe zone I had were my aunt's house near Boston, where I lived every weekend, every school vacation, and every summer. And I do remember Sunday nights during the school year when it was time to leave, time to go home with my mother. It was terrible. I was fearful to go back to the ugly house with the mauve carpet, where the entire house just seemed devoid of love and emotional well-being. It was just an angry place to be. So maybe, like I thought, that leaving this place in Tennessee was kind of symbolic of leaving that safe place. So what do? I challenge myself not to avoid thinking, but to train to not think about the intrusive thoughts, which in a way sounds impossible, right? Because that's exactly what they are. They're intrusive. It's not like we invited them in our head. They just kind of got there. But I also think to myself, well, I have to overcome these thoughts. So I have to figure out how to make this work. I have to figure out how to make it happen. And I don't want to simply distract myself from the thoughts, because if I do that, it's like walking by the garden that's filled with weeds, right? It doesn't make the weeds go away, nor does it make the intrusive thoughts go away, but can actually cause them to fester, accumulate, and spread. And I think about weeds and how many of them are invasive, noxious almost, and they encroach on the healthy environment around them and they kind of overtake it. And that's how I feel sometimes our intrusive thoughts are, and that's sort of what they do. I can't let that happen, but I want to look the other way and I want to distract myself. I want to feel better now, and I don't want to, or maybe I'm not even able to immediately acknowledge that feeling better now by escaping is going to make the weeds, so to speak, or the intrusive thoughts not really go away, but maybe even have the potential to grow more later. So I think to myself, I really need to think like a warrior. Am I going to let the thoughts break the perimeter to the point where my body will respond symptomatically with the fight or flight response? Or will I stand up to my own struggling mind and say, you know what? Not going to happen. It's my life. They're my thoughts, and it's my joy, and I refuse to let these thoughts overcome me. That's it. That's all I have.